The next season of Fortnite may seem quite far away, however, with us having questions such as what happened to Jenna, where did the Foundation and Jonesy go at the end of the last live event, who is this character at the end of the trailer looking like the reality tree itself. Believe it or not, we already know a ton of details about what's going to be happening until the release of the next season and even the Battle Pass skins. I'd stick around until the end of the video if I was you, because you just witnessed a mirror get cracked, which means 7 years bad luck if you don't. However, very quickly before we dive into it all, one favour I ask of you guys, considering it takes 2 seconds and is 100% free to do, is enter my creator code FM1 3 digits inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all, it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with all of that said, now enough messing around, we need to cover everything happening until the end of this season and the start of Season 4, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
To start out with, for our first point in terms of Season 3 so far, of course with us getting introduced to all of the vibrant party theme map changes, with the summer events still yet to be ongoing, furthermore with more updates to come. Believe it or not, we're already around a third of the way through this season, as 33% would be 1/3, and as you can see it says 32 on screen right now, but perhaps when you're watching it's already over 33%. With this being the case, despite the fact Indiana Jones is already unlockable, both pages of his rewards that are now fully revealed with his POI in-game that we can actually go to open a secret room, as there's so many questions about the reality tree and what effects this is going to have on the map at the same time of the 0 point being above the Earth's surface but underwater still. In terms of answering the effects of the reality tree, first of course, for those that have been living under a rock or not paying too much attention, reality roots are spreading up around several named locations or across the entire island eventually, then changing in a future hotfix or update that named location into rotating POIs. Here's an example of what happened at Logjam before and then after into these 3 different versions it can be in each game we hop in. Again, when I'm recording this has also happened to the Butter Barn, having several different states it rotates throughout in terms of possibility we can land at in game, and again with the reality tree changing this temple location for where we can actually unlock the Indiana Jones emote from going to. Even though we're only in the second update of this season, version 21.20, as we know from data miners digging into the code, there's going to be 5 downtime updates this season going all the way up to 21.50. Surprisingly, we already have a good idea of not only what's going to be developing throughout this entire season and if there's going to be a live event or not, which we're going to be mentioning for our next point, but before we move on to that very quickly, you need to know about the next POIs that are going to be changed. As you can see on screen right now, it's going to be Sleepy Sound and then also Condo Canyon. However, there's also set to be reality roots sprouting around the Daily Bugle, which is very interesting to see considering we've literally had the Daily Bugle here despite being baited that it would be destroyed since the start of the flipping over of this island being Chapter 3 itself. Despite the reality tree being the puppet master behind map changes this season, however, what's even more interesting is what's going on with the 0 point that people aren't paying too much attention to, which for the first time in the 21.20 update the scientist has spoken about, and let's just say it's not good.
There it is again. Another 0 point energy shockwave, magnitude 7.2. The 0 point has gotta be bringing these relics here because it wants us to have them, right? And, you didn't hear this from me, but since we're almost friends, now is the time to be worried.
Despite the scientist trying to warn us in advance for what's going to be happening with the fate of the 0 point or the island, the relics he's referring to, believe it or not, were leaked in this update. The first one being, well, for Darth Vader, that's currently a mythic boss on the map right now, going and landing throughout several areas, perhaps looking for what this is. For those that don't know, this is a Sith holocron, and this is used by the Sith within Star Wars to obtain very important or vital information only accessible by them. Just like the reality tree is consistently changing more locations as time passes until September 17th when Season 4 starts or Season 3 ends, it's confirmed from the files based off another relic that's been leaked that the 0 point is going to be bringing more relics onto the island as a part of this season's quests. As you can see, this one on screen right now is in relation to Indiana Jones, of course, and with collaborations obviously being involved with the Fortnite storyline in the past, literally having an entire season dedicated to them in Season 4 of Chapter 2, it's safe to say the possibilities are not shut off in terms of Darth Vader and Indiana Jones kinda being at the forefront of this storyline, as their relics are the only ones leaked so far. So with these two factors, the reality tree and 0 point kind of opposing each other in terms of bringing things to the island or changing it in some way, although we thought the Seven and the island inhabitants would have learned their lesson by now to actually have the 0 point contained rather than destabilizing in any way, even if it is underwater water above the Earth's surface from prior events of it being, well, uncontained. With whatever happens with these two map changing factors getting more crazier until the end of the season, believe it or not, we aren't seeing a live event this season, it looks like. One of the main reasons for this is because Epic Games over the summer holidays usually take around 2 weeks off, and with us having one of the craziest live events at the end of last season being Collision, where we literally manned the Mecha Team Leader robot off of the Ice Moon and flew back into the loop to then defeat the Imagined Order, and based off prior context that we got in Chapter 2, our first live event of that chapter in Season 2, and then not one in Season 3, rather so progressive map changes, being the flood washing away gradually over the Season 3 Chapter 2 island. It's more than safe to say the same thing's going to be happening again, rather so the reality tree again affecting more POIs and the 0 point bringing more relics to the island, or further more changes that are leaked in future updates. As we briefly touched on the last live event, however, with so many unanswered questions such as what happened to Dr. Sloan, is she dead, and where is this character located being Jenna, or where did Jonesy and the Foundation fled to after jumping into the 0 point to try and catch him or run after him. Going forward, it's obvious Jenna's going to be a large part of the storyline, now being kind of revealed for the first time, although it seemed just like a silhouette. Even though the concept of Jenna in this mysterious form was teased right in front of our eyes in a certain cosmetic or loading screen, I believe, very early on. You're seeing it on screen right now. Despite Fortnite in this department leaving us on the edge of our seat to cliffhanger, basically looking forward to the reveal of Jenna or where the Foundation and Jones have gone to next, a curveball then thrown at us was this character at the end of the Season 3 cinematic trailer, looking in what seems to be a crystal ball of the Fortnite Island reality tree, specifically looking like the reality tree itself. In other videos, I've referred to this character as the Bloom Queen, as this is what it looks like fully from an early concept pulled off of the surveys that Epic Games have been releasing and then pulling skins off into game, whether it's in a new battle pass, a new crew pack, or simply the item shop, which means any of the skins on any of the surveys that I'm putting on screen right now could be upcoming for the Season 4 battle pass when it releases again on September 17th if everything goes according to plan and the season doesn't get delayed. Of course, with this character being teased now as a brand new enemy and the reality tree not being so vibrant or chill vibing theme as Season 3 portrays it to be, of course this means this isn't the last we've seen of this skin or character and what her involvement or its involvement is going to be in the storyline. However, with no live event potentially occurring this season, it's very possible something just simply builds up toward the end of this season in terms of map changes more so rapidly occurring, or either the cliffhanger to then unfold into something within the next cinematic trailer, or even have something like the Zero Crisis finale where we can partake in it as soon as the season launches. Speaking of the Zero Crisis finale as well, you know, the Zero Bloom, well, yeah, despite the reality tree resembling this skin, of course the Zero Bloom does too, hence the name Bloom Queen. And if she is manipulating the reality tree or reality roots to change name locations, perhaps if she has ill intention for the island, with it being leaked quite a while ago now that the Cactus Cave would be a thing with another Devourer monster being in it, revealed from the distant roars or groans that were actually coming from that cave system itself underneath this POI. Perhaps this means it's time, considering we've seen the return of a Mecha Team Leader revamp, that we see the reappearance in this realm or reality of the Chapter 3 island, its own Devourer monster. Let me know your theories down below in the comments either way, and slap a like in today's video if you enjoyed, or if you want to refer back to it to see how right or wrong I was toward the end of this season. Make sure you subscribe with all notifications on if you haven't already right now too. But speaking of other videos you can go to now, make sure to click anything on screen, I don't mind. However, most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in that very next one I post on the channel.